We really have sacrificed a lot for this. We really put everything into it. When we first started and we first told people this is what we're going to do, people thought we were really crazy because we're spending all of our money, all of our savings really we had saved, we put into the startup. And we had a lot of criticism because we were quite young. So for us it was really a big leap, but we were so passionate, we were so determined. We knew it was going to work, didn't we? We didn't care what anybody said. We knew what we had, we knew the dream, we knew the aim, and we just wanted to do it. Even if we failed, as long as we tried.
So what's your favorite thing in the menu?
I've been cooking the adobo for ages, so when you cook something like every day, you don't feel like eating it anymore. But we have like a new dish at the moment. It's called TFC, the tinola fried chicken. People always ask me, oh, how did you do like tinola and then it's a fried chicken? We make like a ginger paste just to replicate the flavor of the broth of the tinola. We fry the fried chicken wings, and then we toss that ginger paste fried chicken, and we serve them with pickled red onion and some chives. Really, really good. You'll eat it soon.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm Laura, and this is Aldrin. Our relationship developed over food, really, funnily enough. He took me out to this Filipino restaurant for the first time, and I just fell in love with not only him, but the food as well. So
To me first, and
Yeah.
then to the food.
yeah. Then we started to get together, and then he said, why don't you come with me back to the Philippines? And I said, why not? When you're there in the moment, it's very, very different. So trying Filipino food for the first time was probably like my first proper Asian experience, really, with food and culture. And it's just kind of blew my mind. And I just said, why don't we bring it back to New Zealand? And we kind of did, didn't we? We were supposed to get married, but we spent all of our wedding funds on this. So we bought a food truck.
This one is our food truck at the back of our shop. This is where it started, and this is our first baby.
Our name is Hapunan, so originally Aldrin actually did his uni project on it, so that's how the name came to be.
In the Philippines, we never get to have breakfast with our family because everyone's rushing off to work, to school. During Hapunan, everyone's home already. That for me is like really special because that's the only time of the day that we can sit down, gossip, and tell your family about what happened to your day, and just enjoy the food. Our chicken adobo takes like 3 days to finish. So the first day is the marination. We dice them all. We marinate them overnight, and then the next day, that is the only time that we can do the cooking. We don't sell our adobo on the same day. We always wanted to sell it like on the next day, simply because the flavor gets developed already, and it's just Filipino food is like that, like the more you live it, it just gets beautiful. It just gets tastier.
For us, we do modern Filipino food, so we take the classics of how it is kind of tastes and somewhat presented, but we just put like a modern spin on it because obviously we don't have that kind of variety here in New Zealand of what the produce is in Philippines, so we've just kind of swapped and changed a few things out, and also we've made it a little bit more fun for Kiwis to try, or anybody who isn't Filipino to kind of branch their palate and try, because Filipino food is amazing, but in some way it is a little bit intimidating to people who don't know it.
The menu today is we have the 3 rice bowls, we have the adobo del diablo, we have the beef kare-kare, and we have the vegan one, which is the pares tokwa. It's like deep fried tofu with shiitake mushroom. In here, we do have the adobo del diablo. So what we do first is we poach the chicken with this mix. This mix is just like vinegar, soy sauce, and coconut milk, and then we marinate our chicken with garlic, chili, and turmeric. We reduce this up until it's like thick and just salty enough to flavor the chicken.
At markets, we would get like the lolas and the titas who would be like, oh, that adobo is yellow. And I'm like, yeah, it's a little bit different. Like, why don't you try? And they'll be like, oh, my adobo is better. And we would just give it for free. We're like, just try it. Just try it. We won't charge you. And then they would eat it and they would come back and they'd be like, okay, this is actually really nice. And they would tell their friends, and next week they would come back, wouldn't they? Getting what you do out there is really just what we wanted to do. Like, it wasn't really about money in the beginning. It was literally just for us to kind of feed people how we wanted to eat. That's just what we do.
We started just selling off like leche flans, ube ice cream,
Ube crinkles.
Ube crinkles, all sorts of desserts on Facebook Market, and we were doing it for like 3 months, just doing that. It's not a big profit, but you know, to be able to experience like, oh, I made this dessert with all my heart, and then selling it to like a few people.
We were so happy.
We're not selling a lot. We're not selling a lot, but the pleasure of like, you created something
and someone bought it.
Someone bought it and they replied to you saying, oh, that's actually like really good. Can I order another one?
Yeah, it was really nice.
That's priceless. Our kare-kare sauce is very, very different from the normal one. The traditional one is like an yellowish, orangish kind of sauce. But our one is quite dark. We use beef chicks, so it's quite like a dark meat. So the stock just goes like really, really dark, and no matter how many anato sauce I put in there, it just never turned orange. So I just left it like that. This one is our crispy bagoong that we serve for the kare-kare. Whenever it's wet, we dry it. Whenever it's like soft, we make it crispy. These guys are crazy. These guys are too crazy.
When we first started up, it was really a lot of kind of explaining what we do, and then sometimes they would just walk away and you would feel really a little bit disheartened, but we knew that what we were doing was really cool, and something would come of it if we really just keep sticking to it, showing up, putting your game faces on and just keep going there and doing it. So we did, didn't we? We worked, we were working, I was working full time. Aldrin actually left to commit himself to the business, and just slowly we started doing a Saturday market, then it was a Sunday market, then we were getting gigs on a Friday. So I just said, hey, we need to go all in if we want to make this business really happen. As much as I want to say COVID was such a challenging time for many businesses, for us it was challenging, but it did have a silver lining, because at the time of COVID, really, I was pregnant at that time, so we managed to spend time with our daughter and reflect on the business and how we can grow, and we kind of thought, you know, we need to step up the level from the food truck. So actually being in COVID, we managed to get this shop. So as much as it was a challenge at the time, we managed to kind of say, hey, you know, let's spend everything we have again, risk it all, and do the shop, so that it gives Aldrin the opportunity to kind of put his full force into doing more dishes.
If we have the passion, you can turn it into a business. Start small, like baby steps, learn a system, build yourself a system. If you want to do this kind of business and you just want to just earn money, it's not going to work. Food industry is for people who has the passion and
who has a story, who has a story to tell. I think a lot of people are discouraged because people are a bit of like a naysayer, saying, oh, you'll never make it work, you'll never make it happen, you don't have this skill set. No, I think if you really have like a dream and you really want something to come about with your passion, it will happen. Maybe it will be 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, who cares? As long as you really stick to it and you just do it little by little, I think that you can do anything.